What's up, and welcome back to It's Lit Book Reviews, the show where we discuss all things books. I am Diocletian, and with me, as always, is Constantine. And we're here to discuss Hierarchy Book number 2, The Strength of the Few by James Islington. I still don't know. We thought we confirmed it was Islington when we talked about The Will of the Many, but every person I've heard talk about this book is saying Islington. So I don't know what it is. I'm sure James will be watching. So if you could clarify for us in the comments, that'd be great. But yeah, book 2. How do you do? We're gonna talk, I guess, non-spoilers first, and then get into the dirty deets. This book came out what 7 days
7 days
ago on
ago.
November 11th, 2025. So as of recording this right now on November 18th, it has 3,183 ratings with a 4.47 out of 5 stars. So it is currently trending a little. Obviously, it's a super small sample size compared to the 160,000 or whatever it is reviews for Will of the Many. But so far, it is trending slightly lower. I believe the Will of the Many has a 4.6. Oh, I could be wrong, and I could not bother looking it up. But yeah, we're here to talk about it. So let's quickly say, what did you give the Will of the Many?
I gave this book 4 stars. I think I ended up giving it like 3.75 on Fable, honestly.
No, the Will of the Many, the first one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't do well with directions. I gave it 5 stars. We weren't on Fable then, so it's hard
Yeah.
to think back. I remember really liking it though. Like I love the pace. If I like off the top of my head just remembering, I would assume like at least a 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I also gave it 5 stars, and then I did confirm here 167,000 ratings on that first book, with a 4.6 overall. So we're early, only 3,100 or so reviews into Goodreads at least. So yeah, we both gave the first book 5 stars. I would have said if I had to think on Fable, it was probably a 4.5 out of 5 to get
Yeah.
serious. And we'll kind of maybe talk about that some, but this book, you already said yours. You gave it 4 on Goodreads, 3.75 on Fable. I gave it 4 on Goodreads and 4 on Fable. I just kept it at an even
Same.
4. So we still both enjoyed this book. There's a lot of things to like, but I did not enjoy it as much as the first book.
No.
And so for non-spoiler, I guess we have to say what those things
Did
were.
you read my
And
review on Goodreads?
I did earlier, but if you want to shout that guy out real quick, reviews are always banging.
Dude, Jake's reviews are solid, dude. You can
Yeah.
tell he can write. Anyway, that's sidebar. Shout out Jake.
Shout
From
out.
on Goodreads, I said this series has so much potential, but I'm not sure. But I'm not sure if everything is fully landing properly for me. The structure for this book is completely different from book one, which is not a problem, but creates a lagging feeling as some POVs are simply not as interesting as others. Some of the problems from book one carry over and arguably get exponentially worse. Viz does seem to have access to any and every tool/skill needed for any situation. Overall, I still like this book. The world and magic are interesting. The characters are good enough. Interested to see how James lands this. I said, unfortunately, it's a step down from book one.
Yeah, and I would have to agree with that.
Rank.
I think overall, if you really, really liked the first book, you're still gonna like this book.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just personal preference whether you're gonna enjoy it more or less. It's really gonna depend on the issues you might have had with the first one. And even though I still gave that 5 stars on Goodreads, the first book that is, I think the main issues were, and this is slight spoiler talk for Will of the Many and Strength of the Few. So yeah, but you should probably just check out, like, if you haven't read this book, if you haven't read either one of them, just go read them. But yeah, I feel like we can't really talk about this without spoiling things. We're just no good at that.
Oh, like this book in general?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Um,
classic, though. Second book is just nothing like the first one. It reminds me a little
yeah.
bit of Red Rising to Golden Sun in a sense. I mean, obviously, it's completely different because this is a whole structural thing. I would not say it's a spoiler to say, I guess, light spoiler, but I mean, it's Viz gets copied into Three Worlds. I mean, you
Mhm.
figure that out page one. So it's like, that is, I guess, light spoiler, but
Yeah.
so each POV is just him going back and forth. Like it's him in each world. So it's just that's where for me it's cool. And so there's Like I don't want to fault James for trying. Like I kind of like that he kind of tried something
Yeah.
wild, and he
Yeah,
can
it did
still
feel
land it with book
ambitious.
3. But
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, as we'll talk, I'm sure in non spoilers, it's just, I don't know. There's something missing for me. I haven't seen anyone who likes this book more than book 1. Like in that Discord we're in,
Yeah.
people like it, but no one likes it more than book 1.
Yeah, I think, I wonder I haven't watched the full thing. I started watching Mike's book review on it, and, it sounded like he really, really liked it, but I don't know if he said which one he liked more, but, yeah, I think just overall, like, as great of an idea as the and again, if you haven't read book 1, you shouldn't be watching this, just read the first book, but, book 1 ends with him getting copied, so we knew that was gonna be a thing going into book 2, and I love the idea, I think it's really cool, but it also is what kinda makes the book suffer because the same
For
problems that
sure.
I had with Viz in book 1, you now have across 3 different POVs essentially of
Yeah.
the same person with the same problems and different problems. I had a problem with some different things that we'll talk about in spoiler, but this book definitely suffers from and it's always gonna be this way in any book that's like this, but there's some POVs you're gonna like more than others. But in this book, I felt like one in particular really suffered, and I've actually heard people say the opposite of my opinion, that another one suffered, but either way, I don't know, man, there was just something missing. The writing is still great, I think characters are just kind of an issue because Viz is just a Gary Sue, like, he was in the first one and
Nothing
he is in
feels
this one.
earned. I think that's what it is. A lot of it doesn't feel earned. It's just the,
Yeah.
like you're saying with the Gary Sue thing, it's just whatever is needed is he has. Like all of a
Yeah.
sudden, oh, it's there, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, we didn't really get the
Yeah.
background work to figure out why that's there or why he has this skill or this help. Like it's just sometimes it's like the background work is there, but I just feel like it's not enough. And I think it is because they're
Yeah.
different POVs.
Yeah, it's either not there or it is, but it feels kinda hand wavy, and that I think is unfortunately a good way to describe some of the issues with this book is you just kinda get hand wavy explanations as to how certain things occur,
Yeah.
specifically things that benefit Viz throughout the book, and you can't say that he doesn't suffer, he suffers in both of these books, but he's just too good at everything, man. It's like Darrow on crack. Like, that was a problem in the first trilogy of Red Rising is that Darrow in some ways could be slightly a Gary Sue, especially really in that first book, I feel like. But dude, this is like way worse in my opinion.
For sure. For sure.
So and again, we haven't got through the as much of the series as there is in Red Rising, so it's hard to really compare. But dude, the ideas, the concepts I still really like. The magic system got a little
I agree.
screwy in this book, but I still really like all of it.
Yeah.
Um, and the only other bad thing I can say is it's just too long for what it is, man. This book could have been and I feel like we say that often. I don't know if that's an us thing. I feel like you and I both really enjoy books that are longer, but only if they deserve to be longer.
Yeah.
We complained about it with Wind and Truth. We complained about it with Empire of the Dawn. And it's kind of a thing here too. It's not egregious, but it could have been a little shorter, I
Yeah,
felt.
I agree. I agree.
Um, but I mean, as far as the strength of the few, there are some really strong moments, like really strong moments. Some of them people might not feel that it's a good strong moment, but they're still really big moments that were enjoyable or maybe shocking. I gotta say though, man, the end kind of didn't hit as well for me as the first book either. But I still really want to see how this all plays out.
Yeah.
Did this book
Nothing,
kind of feel like a setup to you though? A lot of it just for book 3?
bro. I hope so because I'm gonna be honest. 4 months from now, I'm not gonna remember a single thing from this book, and that's
Yeah,
because nothing got me. Like I'm gonna remember. There's one huge thing that happens, but I'm gonna remember it for like the wrong reason. I think not like for a good
yeah,
reason. So it's
yeah,
just like I don't know. Which we struggled when we were trying to get prepared for this book. It's like who even was the main character in Strength of the Many or Will of the Many. It's just I don't know if it's this series or which I mean the huge glaring problem is none of these names are obtainable for
dude,
Americans. Which again, okay, if you're going to be in the world, I get it. You're in the world, but dude, almost you ask the average person to just pronounce any of these names and you can't do it. You
dude.
cannot like do it. It's just
Well, and
Like,
even the
come on.
people reading it, dude, like, we read the first book, we read the second book, and there are so many names. I mean, you said one of them before we started, and I thought, "That's not at all how I ever said that word or name."
Oh, dude, there's
And
one later on. I can't wait to. I
it's
did a
like he
little bit of the
took
Audible, and it's wild.
I you know, like, I understand that he was like, it's a Roman setting, but it's like he took Roman style names and just made them more complicated.
Yes.
Um, like, 'cause sometimes in Roman history, there are names that are tough for sure, but a lot of the names like Octavian, Tiberius, all these names, they're not difficult for us to grasp, like, they make
Yeah.
sense when we read them. But I will never get over Ole Scissors. I mean, Ole Scissors, my boy. Like, like, I'll never get that, dude. Like, why did you make that? Why is that the name?
It's
Um,
so tough,
and there's
dude.
so many, man. There's so many in this book. And then you'll have Amissa, and it's like, why can't they just all be normal like that?
Yeah.
Like, come on. But yeah, that was definitely a struggle. It just felt like he took it too far. But whatever. I still think, like, if I was talking to a person who read the first book and hadn't read this, I would still tell them to read it.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. It's just,
Yeah, because there's
unfortunately, I do
really
think
cool
this is
stuff in it. There's really cool stuff.
there is. It's just I don't think this series is ever gonna be a top series for me. Like, at this
No.
point now in the series, like, whereas after book 1, I'm like, "Oh, like, there's some flaws for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
but there's enough here to where this could be an all-timer." Whereas
Yeah.
I don't wanna completely rule him out, but it's just I will still read book 3, and I still
100%.
will probably have a good time. Like, I'll still wanna read book 3 as soon as it comes out, but it's just I was hoping, dude, this series could be, one of the Mount Rushmores, and
Yeah, and it felt like maybe that would happen after Lycanius, but so far, dude, Lycanius is
oh, it's better
superior to this,
for sure.
by a good margin, in my opinion.
I
Like, nothing
I
too crazy, but
I would agree.
it's solidly better than, and who knows, book 3 might come out and be the craziest thing ever, the greatest thing ever, but by book 2 of Lycanius, I was way more bought in and committed to the series than I feel with Strength of the Few, and I think some of that's just the characters, man. Like, you get all these characters in book 1 that you don't really get much of at all in book 2, and then you meet all these new characters because of these new POVs, and it's kind of a lot for book 2, man. It's I feel that,
It is. It's a lot of setup.
in The Wheel of Time, it's one thing if you're meeting brand new characters in book 4. There's 14 books in the series, but in a trilogy, if I'm having to just I get
Is
1
it
or
gonna be a
2.
trilogy? Is that confirmed? Like, I was thinking as we're reading this, is it
That's my
confirmed?
understanding. Um, that's been everything that I've understood.
Okay.
I believe. Could be wrong, but we'll see. But either way, I still thought it was a really cool book. I don't regret reading it. There were definitely some parts that could have been shorter, but I'd still recommend this series, recommend people to buy in, but I would probably tell them read Lycanius first. Just go ahead and knock that boy out because it's amazing. So I still trust in Mr. Islington, but you know, book 1 was better. And I think that's just kind of the feeling here at It's Lit Book Reviews. So
Yep.
let's just talk spoilers. If you haven't read book 2 at all and you don't want to know anything that happens, definitely check out. I mean, 1, 2, 3, go. You should be gone. I mean, Aquia.
That was egregious, dude. It was just egregious. It was unnecessary, egregious. Like,
It's just
someone
shock
had to.
value. Like,
It was shock value, but then it's not even done well. Almost like it just happens so fast. Then we don't even really sit in it. It's just
yeah,
gone.
yeah,
So it's
she's
like,
just gone. And then
what was the
it's
point?
like made even worse because by the end of the book, Viz has gone through so many other things, and now his mom and daughter or sister are like, undead or whatever. They're there. And so
Yunky.
he just never really grieves it. And you never, as a reader, really get to sit in what happened. It just kind of keeps going. And then you go from that to him rescuing Old Scissors. And it's just like, dude, I don't care about him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
a
it's
good
just
character in Aquia who we were like, I mean, dude, she was a day one. And
she
like,
was.
maybe there could have been a romantic thing. I felt like it was heading in that direction potentially. That's neither here nor there. I didn't need that, but it definitely felt like she was like, I mean, dude, she was Viz's homie. I
Yeah.
mean, she was every time he had to do something, she was like, "I'm coming. Don't care what's going on, I'm there." And then she gets her head crushed in. by a dude we have barely seen anything of. Eero's dad out of
It's
nowhere,
just
and then
the
but he did drop that
motivations
cold strength
there.
through the few line. That line was cold.
But for what? We don't even know him. It's crazy that he's the
Yeah,
one who gets to drop that line. Like he comes
yeah,
in with no screen time and drops that line. Second time
yeah,
ever in this whole series that we've seen him, and it's like
yeah. It's kind of crazy.
we didn't even know he existed before this. Before this book, we knew that every character, I guess, biologically has a mother and a father, but like, it's not like he was someone that was on our radar at all. It's
No,
just
no. And it felt unearned, it felt like shock value, if and it what was most egregious about it, though, was it was the only character other than Viz that it felt like we were
right.
really getting anything from in Res, at least, in
I
the
agree.
Prime main world, and then she gets killed. It's like, dude, we haven't seen Amissa barely, Iden's barely here, Calidus is freaking dead. So anybody that's, like, really close to Viz, like, Lanistia, whatever however you say her name, is in
Yeah.
prison. Then you have this one character that's a ride or die, and she dies. It's like, dude, I was hoping she'd ride a little longer, you know?
But thank
Like,
God, mom and sister are back, dude.
I mean, thank God, dude. Thank God
Something
everybody
that
in his family's coming
everyone
back to life.
something everyone in the chat was wanting. I mean, dude, it's just sometimes I just wonder the bringing people back to life that have died off page,
I'm
like
so
before the
tired of it.
story even begins, is such a bad call.
And
I
dude,
just
I think it's worse for us because we
try and
maybe you
it's
should cut that out. Just bleep that out. What I said was a spoiler, but oh man, you just have to bleep this whole part. I mean, you might have to cut this part because I don't want to spoil that book for anyone, but
yeah.
we had our reasons not to enjoy it.
I agree though, but then I talked about it a little bit too. It just didn't feel earned that even Old Scissors and Relucia are even in prison. It's like why they're just in prison, and that's just what we're supposed to do. There's no build up to why. We
I mean,
talked
I
a little
didn't
bit
really have a
like
problem with that, but it did feel just random. It just felt like,
yeah,
oh, of
it's
course
like oh
they're
yeah,
both
the
here.
military pyramid's down, so like they're in prison, but it's like
Yeah.
we didn't even know about it, and it just I think it's supposed to be another shock value, like oh they're here too, but it's like I don't know,
It's really
especially
just another,
for
like, conflict, like, it's like another he just wants to drop in something to make the task more difficult.
Relucia being there makes no sense to me. Old Scissors, okay. But like, I don't know. In my mind, she's supposed to be a 007 a couple steps ahead. Part of the Anguis. Like,
Yeah.
I thought
And it
they knew
and
like
her
what was
excuse is she
going
was
on.
trying to get Lanistia out. Is that how they said it in
Uh
the audiobook, by the way? Lanistia?
Lanistia, I think maybe is how
I
they
mean,
said it.
good god, dude. I probably got none of them right. Is it even Viz, bro, or is it Vise?
Lanistia.
Um,
I think it's Adolf.
why?
I don't know, dude. I'm me.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
to totally not fully derail this, bro, the name that they called him in Lucium that starts with an L that means like half man. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Leaf Fear?
Dude, you know how they pronounce that?
How?
Dude, diabolical. No one would ever. Oh, dude, I just lost it. He has the pronunciations in the back. Oh my gosh. Lar.
Lar? Yeah, I mean, it's just like, why I've never really
La
appreciated that in any
R.
fantasy
It's
book.
L
It's like
E A T H F H E A R. Lar.
I'm just thinking, bro, how am I supposed to decide how you're wanting to pronounce this? I'm reading it on the page. It's a made up name. How am I
We're not
supposed to?
Nordish or whatever. Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
just it's Laar. That's
dude, I was
terrible,
shook.
dude.
I was shook when I saw it in the Audible, which luckily I had the Kindle too, so it like was going over the words as it's saying it, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
It's just like, why do they do? And what did people do before audiobooks were a thing? Did you just never know how things were said properly
Yeah,
unless you
man,
happen to meet the author and ask him? And what'd you
dude,
say the iuncti word is? How do you say it? I've been
you're
saying iuncti.
that one's closer. It's
It's
well, I
like
think
young
it's time to
homies or
read.
something.
Yeah, almost, almost aggroed us. More so me.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. um,
I mean, we've derailed this at
Jungkook's.
this point already.
Jungkook's.
Youngtoos? Um,
The pronunciation is Yoonkotos. I mean, dude. Oh
Yeah,
god.
that's terrible. I don't know what James is doing with all that, but the names are tough. But anyway, so I guess that covers the Aquia thing. We didn't really care for that. I'm fine with people dying, but
I'm
one,
not
they need to
emotionally
stay
invested in
dead.
anybody else really at this point. Iden for sure is the last one left, but like you said, he's not really in this one a lot. So, and dude, the scene we talked about it a little bit. This classic scene of Vis going to Iden to be like, "Yo, dude, switch sides," kind of thing. Because obviously, Iden's in military, having to do something he doesn't want to do, and the guy he's with, like, being like, "Wait, is that Catanicus?"
Mhm.
Throws spear, and then Diago just jumps in front, takes
Yeah.
spear to jugular. Is
And dude, I
class.
was actually hurt by that for the brief millisecond that I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Actually, I'm not gonna
Let me
die."
get up right quick. A spear through the
Nice,
jugular
dude.
really isn't that bad, guys. Let's
Which I
keep
do
rolling.
think that is gonna end up being I mean, is he a Yunkti? I don't know because he's not bleeding a lot.
Do you think he's like 10 soon, and now that he has a spear through him, he'll be able to be controlled by someone?
Well, that's what I'm saying, bro. I think he says something about him not having like a lot of blood coming out at all. Like he makes a
Mhm,
point to Vis does that there's not a lot of blood coming out.
mhm.
I don't
Well,
know.
maybe he's a
I
young
think.
two.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because he kills Diago kills everybody, and that's like the whole thing. Viz is like, why did he do that? I don't understand why he did that.
Mhm.
So it makes me think that the Ostius guy
Might
has
have
like
been controlling
imbued
him.
him. Yeah, imbued him with a little bit of will. If I had to guess, that's where I think he's
Mayhaps.
going.
That
And
is completely unexplained as to why Diago would have done that, but, yeah, so, to get into more of the details of the book, I mean, let's talk about the main thing. Main thing is that there's 3, versions of Viz. So we have Res Viz, which I think we both agree was the most interesting one for the most part.
till the end, yes.
Yeah, till the end. The first half or maybe even more of the book, Obitium was tough
Oh,
for me.
trash. It was trash for me almost the entire time.
It was rough, and even honestly, the whole like, that one was never great. That one was never in first place. Lucium
Lucium had some
had
good moments.
had good moments, and also, dude, something about the setting of Lucium, dude, I just loved, man. Like, it was I loved his descriptions, like, of just the travels and everything, like, like, I liked that, but
It felt more chill for some reason. It felt like I was playing Skyrim or something, and I'm going off on a
you were
complete
just
side
free
mission that
roaming.
does not matter at all.
Yeah.
It's not any of the main quests. It's a total side quest.
Well, what was crazy, dude, which I the biggest problem I had with Lucium Viz was he was like a different person when he got there. He met a family and knew them for like an hour and a half and decided, dude, I don't want anything to do with anything except this. Like,
Bro props, man.
forget the world I came from and all that wild stuff going on. I'm gonna hang out with
Granny.
Granny,
I don't.
and
That
her
sounds
kids,
so
whatever
bad,
her
bro.
name is. And
Yeah,
I like this. And look, I can appreciate that he found something like that he
I
wanted to
was
stick
kind of
with.
game for it, to be
I mean, I
honest.
liked it for him to a degree, but it did not make sense for the character
No.
Viz has been presented to be. Um, like he's never doing that as far as like
Yeah.
the guy we've gotten to know so far. But I liked Lucium more than OBTM, like through and through. Rez was pretty much the main one the whole time.
It's the one we know the most about. I think it's the one where we care most about the characters because we've seen them the longest. These other two
Yeah.
worlds, like we know about Kaor and Obitium, but like we only know of him. We don't like actually get to see what he's really like until this book. So I mean, it's just yeah, it's the only thing we have to go on, which I do think they're good characters. Honestly, in Obitium, I don't care about any of those characters.
Oh,
Netocret, Kaor,
dude,
Amos.
Netocret's a crazy name. That
Dude,
was a
that was
wild choice. What is a Netocret, bro? I mean, what are you doing?
I don't get it, and I think that's
And
probably why I
even
don't like
Ka, bro. Ka, brother. I mean, all
Ka.
right. Ka, which maybe that would sound kind of sick if they were like, an army was chanting Ka over and over. Maybe that would be cool.
I
Um,
get it. Whereas like
but
in Lucium, like I thought the whole I mean, he almost goes back to school again, which is kind of like the joke that he makes that he's not gonna go train anymore because he's tired of training.
mhm,
But like Tara and crew and Connor and all them, like it was like, okay, I could see where I could like these I could right now I don't have enough, but like I could see where I could really feel bad if one of these people died.
right.
But I didn't feel like that at all for any of the characters in Obitium.
No, not even. I mean,
That it just didn't feel. I mean, not none of it feels real, but Obitium's just like, all right, what? It's like some Tron slash world where I don't know. It's just I
it
don't
was
even know
just
how to.
weird, bro. I couldn't even really describe the setting all that well of Obitium, to be honest. It was just kind of confusing. The will got confusing in both Obitium and Lucium. It was already difficult enough to understand in Res, and I'm just completely lost in these other two worlds. But I still like it. Like I thought it was cool, but it felt kind of hand wavy. The Lucium end arc was dope. I mean, him seeing I was on board with his dad.
Yeah, the dad being dead though is still kind of like okay, so he's technically not alive,
Yeah, I was fine with that. When
but
it later at the end, when it was the entire family, basically, is when it was lost on me. But I liked the stuff with his dad and the fact that he got to talk to him, and then the way his dad sacrificed himself, I thought was super dope. And then him walking out of the water with that silver arm attached to him
that was
to
cool.
fight
Ball
Beelzebub or whatever that guy's name is.
Gal Chobar. It's like, come on, dude.
Gibraltar, from Apex Legends. That's who I was picturing, with his shield and everything. This is like ponytail or whatever he has. Um, but that was good. Dude, so Karor, he's got to be bad, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I will say that's one of the few times I usually don't ever see any of the twists. I feel like I saw that one coming from the very
You did
beginning.
call that early. You didn't
He was
trust
too nice.
his
Every
attitude. Yeah,
that's the only thing I was able to conceptualize in Obitium is how often Viz was like, he makes me feel good, he makes me feel happy, and it was just too. It
yeah.
was an obvious this is too much. But dude, we almost have glazed over it, bro. It is almost unforgivable. And if we miss something, which I'm sure me especially did, why does Viz go back to the whatever you know cave system? Obviously, he ends up getting in trouble with whatever he does. I can't even
So you're
conceptualize
talking
how.
about him going back to get the weapons?
Yes, dude. He
I
just all of
think
a sudden gets
Karor
these
did
magic
mention that.
weapons.
I because remember when the first time he goes to it, he has that like traumatic response. Remember in the Nam Namachio thing, whatever, with Esteban. But I just think it was very brief. And I don't know if he specifically said there's a weapon back here, but remember he did want him to go in there.
Bro, those weapons, first of all, I had to Google what those even are. Like it was just
Yeah.
some words that
Well,
I've never
flail
even
I knew. The other one was like an Egyptian looking
staff.
thing, right?
Yeah. It's just
Um,
I don't know. I just I didn't understand the magic for that. It felt like immediate. It just felt so like hand wavy, like you've said before. It's like, oh, you need something that can defeat everything. That if you had from the very beginning, it would make everything you've done like pointless. All right, here it
yeah,
is. It's like,
yeah. Who's in that
okay,
sarcophagus though, man? You think it's Karor?
I think so. I don't think the Ka guy for some reason is even. I don't think he's the one, dude. I don't know
I think
why.
he's a great character, but I don't think he's like the big bad evil we were led to believe at first.
Do
But
you
who
think he's
knows?
the one who's like trying to find him and kill
Well, we
Viz?
still don't know. There's the concurrence, and then there's the cataclysms, and we thought Ka was the concurrence, but then Ka claims he's not. He says it's some, I don't know, a hive mind of young twos, of young homies. I don't really know what he meant by that. That's the concurrence, and so the cataclysm is to stop the concurrence from happening, I guess. So it's one of those things where we don't really know like what actually the truth is and what is worse, what the options truly are. Um, but we know what I do know as far as Karor is he told Viz that his other two copies had died, and he's
Yeah.
Ruark and Lucium. So I'm wondering either Karor somehow thinks that and is wrong, or he is evil, like he's a bad guy and he lied about it for some
But there
reason.
is there is one person who, and you're saying that that is like there's one person who's also like Viz, who's synchronous or whatever. You're saying you don't think that's Kaor? Like you think it is this Ka guy, and he's not actually a bad guy?
Yeah, yeah, because is it it's Ruark that says to Viz, to Prime Viz, right? He says one of your counterparts made a mistake. That was Kai. Yeah, it was no, not Ruark. It was the young two talking to Viz in Res.
In Res.
He said one of your counterparts like did something irrevocable, and he was talking about Viz in OBTM because he had just stabbed Ka's heart. So I think that Ka was synchronous, but he's not anymore since he was killed in OBTM. I think he was synchronous. Because I think Karor is dead in Res. So I think there's only two copies of Karor, and they're in OBTM and Lucium. Unless Viridius is lying, because I'm pretty sure he said that they buried him, I thought. Or maybe they lied. Maybe they never found his body. I can't remember. That's probably super important to remember, but I don't. But
Dude,
who
and that's what
knows?
I talked to you about. Like, it's one of the, and again, I just can't tell is it me or, but it's like we've read so much, especially the last like 3 or 4 years. Dude, the way this book reads, it's so hard to figure out what's important and what's not. Like, a lot of times if an author mentions something a couple times, like more than twice, it's like, okay, I need to remember that. Like, that's something that when I see it again, it's going to matter. Whereas it's not that he doesn't repeat stuff. Like, I know he does, but it's like so many things are happening. It's like, and it's not even like a Wheel of Time complex thing for me. It's more just he's mentioning stuff twice. It seems irrelevant. It's like, just don't like, okay, if we're going to set the scene and, talk about details, cool. But like, if it doesn't matter, I don't know. I just feel like there should be more of a separation, maybe. I think that's what's like, dude, as I'm thinking about this book, like, I'm just struggling to really connect almost with anything now. Like, now that Aquia is
Yeah.
dead, she was like my one strong connection of where I felt like I actually knew what was going on. But now it's like, the Lucium still has me. I'm really excited more for Lucium. The Obitium thing, unfortunately, I feel like is one of the most important parts, and I don't care at all about it. I feel like that's where I'm struggling. And because I feel like that's
Yeah.
about to cross over with Rez somehow. Now that he's
Yeah, it's like what happens now that Ka is gone because we didn't see anything after he killed him in OBTM. That's the very
yeah,
last thing we see, and I knew that was gonna happen. Once it ended with him stabbing him in the heart, I was like, "Okay, that's we're not getting any more OBTM. He's gonna leave us there."
yeah.
Um,
Do you feel like the things in Rez just broke down so fast?
broke down.
Like, just the world of Rez just like goes into
Yeah,
chaos so
so
quickly.
that's an interesting thing. So I was thinking about it's interesting said that. I'm glad you did. So he's very much comparing this to the time of like an Octavian coming to power, like
Yeah,
with the proscriptions and people just killing each other. The lower classes kind of piping up that all that stuff that's happening. But he presents it in this way, like to where it felt like what you're asking, like you wouldn't have really I don't know, felt a connection to it if you didn't have an appreciation for that because it does seem, the proscriptions and everything else,
he
it's
doesn't
not really
explain that for a
explained.
while, like what a
Um,
prescription is. So if you don't know anything about Roman history, like you're like, what does this even mean? Like it's like, oh, it could sound like a
right.
good thing almost. I feel
Yeah, and
like
he does explain it after a minute,
he does.
but
Yeah,
it's a very strong parallel to many different times in the Roman era, but, it did feel like if you didn't have that appreciation or you don't care about that kinda stuff, that it would have felt strange. But I don't know, man. They did kill like a lot of people in power. So it does make sense that there would be breakdown, but it truly went from, Prime Viz, okay, this just happened. Princeps is dead. Next time you see him, it's Catton is burning.
yeah.
That's like the first thing that's said in his next POV. And it just, it's very
All
quick.
right, we're here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. Um, what was I about
Did
to
you
ask you
like
though?
that? Like for you, since you read a lot of Roman history, like did it hit for you?
So it didn't really hit for me because most of what we know about Roman history, you're getting it from the perspective or you're focusing on the emperors usually or generals, people that rise to the echelons of power. And in this, it looks like Viz is going to try to become a princeps, but we don't know any of those characters. So it's like
Yeah,
it wasn't that. I mean, we knew some of those people that got killed, but the same scene we meet the princeps in, he dies in. So you never get a real feel for who this guy is, and that was kind of a disappointing buildup for me because I saw princeps and I'm immediately thinking, all right, okay, okay, that's the Augustus of this world,
yeah.
and he was kind of lame. Once they take the will from them, and obviously there's a lot in that, but I don't know. It was still wild that Diago killed all of them like that. That was crazy. But I did
Honestly,
also like Prime Viz
wow.
having the ability to like morph like a Power Ranger and get his arm back.
Yeah, that was the. What did I say? What did I compare it to? It reminds me of something. I was talking to you on the phone about it, and I can't even remember now. His
I
whole little
remember
triangles.
what were you talking about?
Dude, oh, that's so annoying.
Oh,
Anyway, I
Magneto. He said
yeah,
Magneto.
he him going Magneto was pretty cool. That was the
That
coolest
was
thing
cool.
I think that happened in this book because I had a good visualization of that.
Yeah, that
Like,
was
I think
cool.
he did a good job describing that and with the little triangles and stuff. I thought that was awesome. And I mean, for the most part, even though it is hand wavy for sure, with him like using that when the dude breaks both of his legs, and it's like, oh well, I'll just self imbue these and do whatever. But it's just there's still so many questions about is it because he's synchronous that he can do the things
I
that he
think that's
does?
what it is, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a lot of it, but it still is for instance, when it's when he's in Lucium. I get that part of it's supposed to be about the staff, but I do think him not having an arm in 2 of the worlds did not have, like, the impact on the story that it should have because he solves those at will essentially when he needs to. In Res, he just builds his arm with will, and in Lucium, I mean, he obviously gets beat and can't fight as well in Lucium, but by the end, he has a silver arm, which okay, let's talk about that. We talked about this on the phone. Bro, when he's in Atlantis or whatever the hell,
Dude, that's a whole other thing, dude. What even is that? What
what
was that?
happened and why did that one give him that arm? Like, I need an answer in book 3 of why that specific guard decided to give him that arm because that seemed so on the nose to me. And it's a stupid complaint, but it just felt weird to me. It was like, I know he specifically asked him, what will make it look like I win or did what
Yeah.
I needed to do. So he gives him the arm, but then he shows up and Lear is looking at him like, what the hell, dude? Why do you have that arm? Why are all these people staring at you? So apparently that guard didn't do what he asked. He didn't actually make it look like he did what everyone else does. And then he gets clowned for it and killed with it attached to his arm, and obviously he ends up powering up at that point, but that just felt weird, man.
I agree. I mean, that whole I mean, it's just almost it's like a short story because we have no context for anything that happens in Lucium or Obitium really. It's like okay, it's a different kind of use of will, but it's just like that whole portal that he goes into and does that whole it reminds me of it's a spoiler, but it reminds me of some Wheel of Time stuff with the Aiel, like going out into the Aiel waste.
Mm,
It's like I don't
mhm,
know. It's just a but without the backdrop of like knowing what's about to happen that you get for a lot of pages in Wheel of Time. So it's
yeah,
like it was cool, but I don't even know what happened. I don't know the purpose of it, which again maybe is the whole point. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe I'm missing the whole point, but it's
and it's
just
just tough because each of those other than it's a problem in all of them. So in Res, the problem with not really connecting with, like, characters and what's going on in a lot of places, the problem in Res is all the people you got to know aside from Viz, he doesn't really interact with in this book, other
yeah.
than Aquia, whatever, and she dies. And then in the other 2, in Lucium, for instance, he starts to kind of form a relationship with some of these warriors, and there's kind of a hint of maybe a romantic interest in Tara, but none of them are real characters. None of them have any depth, bro. I wouldn't care if any of them when Tara was about to die, I did not care. I thought, "Oh, man, that sucks,"
Bro,
I
first of all,
guess.
how does she find him? She just pulls up, finds him.
I mean, she pulls up on Gang out of nowhere.
Dude, there's no explanation for how she snuck through the what. It's just, it's almost egregious how it's just like, oh, you
I
know,
think there might have been a brief one
this
where
is
she just
trapped,
says, "Yeah, we just pulled up because we were trying to join in with them." But it makes no sense how she got all the way to his tent without being caught, and
and
then
then
the
gets
second
it.
they walk out of the tent,
Yeah.
they get caught. It's like, okay. Um,
Well, dude, did you notice it kind of snaps in the scene where they're fighting and then all of a sudden they're captured, and it's like I had to like go back and read it again because all of a sudden like she kills someone instantly, Tara does, and then all of a sudden she's like, "I'll challenge whatever to save them," basically. And it's like, "But wait, when did the fighting stop?" Like I don't know. It was just that whole
I
scene
think
was
they got
just so
slightly
weird.
surrounded, but either way, it was the question of what was your plan here. And then Ronan comes out, King Ronan, and gives himself over, ends up getting his head lopped off.
Well, that was every character in Lucium. Everyone, anyone who's a druid is getting killed immediately.
Well, he wasn't a druid; he was a king.
Oh, sorry, he was the king,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah,
yeah,
never
people,
mind.
yeah, that whole thing with we're supposed to respect them at all costs. I mean, Cian gets beheaded, and then Lear gets disrespected by Gibraltar. Um, And yeah, and then to go from again back to obitium, I just
Bro, I do not care about anything, dude. Amos or whatever his name was, man.
dude,
I think it's supposed to be. I think I get what he's trying to do, which I mean, it would be a weird concept if you could raise people from the dead and they still seemingly are having feelings and stuff, but they're dead. It's just okay. Yeah, is that mistreating someone? Yeah, there's weird,
it doesn't
ethics
feel like
around
they're
that.
dead really.
They're not, dude.
Like
That's the thing. So it's
it's
just they
you
are for
know
the sake of this world, but yeah, what's really different?
yeah, other than the fact that obviously they can get mind controlled or whatever. But yeah, dude, when he jumped, I said, okay, what next?
Splash.
It was
Yeah,
just I just didn't care that much.
it was, dude.
Only
It was
thing I
so,
cared about was Aqua dying, and it was terrible, like the way
yeah,
he did it. I
yeah.
mean, I
It
hate to
was not
say
a
terrible, but
satisfying death.
it could have been done in this book and been okay.
Yeah.
But he does it in an unearned feeling way, and then just doesn't really revisit it, other than Viz telling Iden about it briefly. And it just felt like, damn, Viz, like,
I
I
don't
mean,
know who
without
I'm gonna
her,
care
you'd be
about
cooked. You'd have been
in
dead a
book
long
3.
time ago.
Oh, for sure. She was the best, dude. She
I mean,
went
dude,
from
it's gonna
being
have to be Iden and Amissa, I feel like. And then,
I don't care about a miss anymore, dude. I'm gonna be honest because
yeah,
she's
he's gonna
not
have
in
to
the
reel
book.
you back in
Yeah,
order to care about her again. And
because
now we're
she's
gonna have
gone,
to care about his mom and sister who have been dead this whole time.
dude. I really don't care about that.
And they're
I can
gonna
already
die in the end, bro. We already know they're not like they're dead
well, they're
already.
already dead, yeah. So it's
So
just
like it's
see, there should be a there. It doesn't feel like it feels too OP. Like the fact that the Amos guy can just survive, like that's where to me I don't know. Like I get like it's a cool concept being able to revive like killed enemies because then you can get information from them, like what they're doing in res, like what military's doing to like find stuff out. Like that is a very
yeah,
cool concept, but there needs to be like some sort of time frame on it to where like it only lasts like so long because now it's just being abused like over and over and over. I mean, that's how
yeah.
Viz gets his little army. It's just all right. Let me just self revive everybody. They all give half, 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 and he
They
does it.
literally all got up and started holding down X and just repeat, repeat, repeat until everybody gets up.
Dude, he just
Um,
did a little multi-level marketing to just
I mean, he's literally got a Ponzi scheme going.
exactly.
So yeah, I'm excited for book 3 to see where it goes, but one, who's the main bad guy? Like, are we supposed to be worried about the concurrence? Because if that's it and it's a hive mind of young twos, I that's not good enough for me. If it's Carol, it's like I almost like I just like who's the big bad, man?
I didn't really care about
Who is
Carol
Liz
either.
fighting
I
anymore?
don't know.
Other
Yeah,
than his political opponents in Res. I don't care about that, to be honest.
I couldn't name a single one of his political opponents in Rez.
Yeah, it's just who are we yeah, and I want to care, but anyway, again, I still gave this 4 stars because the pace was it felt really good for the most part. There's still a lot of cool concepts, there's strong moments, at the end so I saw a review on Goodreads that said the person who says "Hail Viz" at the end of the book is Calidus, which I could see. It's undead Calidus, and at that point, I mean, dude, that's we're kinda cooked, man. If Calidus comes back too, and we have to go through this whole rigmarole with Viz where every person that's undead or whatever it is, he's got to go through this arc of accepting the fact that they are dead. And that at the end, I'm sure the young twos are going to be no more or something by the end of this story. And they're all going to be gone. And it's just, okay. Dude, I don't like the bringing back people to life. I don't
Dude,
like it. I
especially with
hate when
where we're at
characters
right
I
now.
love die. I hate when
Like,
characters I love die. It makes me mad, makes me sad, but they need to stay dead. They need to stay dead or it doesn't matter, bro, and I understand these are a little different because 'cause they're still technically dead, but it still cheapens it for me, you
but like
know?
you said, I still don't really get what's different about them being dead. I don't know if I get
Well,
it.
they're
They're like a
dead,
little less
but
personable.
I mean, they can be controlled, told that's the whole difference, is they can be mind controlled, essentially, but as far as their character and who they are, they seem like they're kinda the same, other than the existential crisis of finding out that, like, God and stuff isn't what you thought for someone like Amhose or whatever his name is, um What's this? How do you say it? What is it?
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have that
It's probably not
pronunciation
am
like
hose.
pulled up.
I am the hose.
Dude, the more I think about this book, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I think the less I'm liking it, and that's sad because I do like the world, and I think the will system is cool. Like, it's a very good
Yeah,
idea, but I think you said it earlier. The best way to describe this now is it's ambitious,
yeah,
and I think there's a lot of really cool ideas, and I think he's really on to something. And again, I'm
yeah.
still all in on book three, but I just there's almost too many holes. Like it's too much like suspended belief for me with too many of these words that aren't real words and too many times where you're not going to explain something and things are just going to appear and
It
nothing
just
feels
feels like
earned,
you're
bro.
building up
Nothing
all
feels earned.
this conflict and all these different pieces to the story just for Viz to plow right through them with
Yeah.
almost no, resistance. And obviously, I understand there is resistance. Again, Aquia dies. He has to train really hard, now that he's one armed and Lucium, whatever. He has to train to learn how to use will and res so he can replace his arm. I get that those things are there, but I don't know if it's the fact that he's kind of skipping over them and hand waving. I don't know what it is, but there doesn't it like you're
I
saying,
don't
it
know
doesn't
why
feel
he's
earned.
still doing any of the things that like he's doing. Like I know the whole like theme of that Iden has with him with the whole line in the sand thing. Why is Viz even doing any things he's doing? None of it. Iden's the only guy he has left, and he's not even in the same like group as him. They're in like opposing factions. So it's like so he doesn't really even get to see him. I'm just imagining what character continues to go through what they're going through the way he is. You know what I mean? It just I don't get like how his psyche would not be affected, which I guess they tries like James tries to I feel like pencil that in a little bit, but bro, he's got no one. He genuinely has no one, and I think it affects
Yeah.
him, but it doesn't affect him as much as I feel like it should. If this story
Yeah.
were to be as believable as it needs to be, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just tough that it's like he's got this big secret and he told Iden about it at the
Which
end,
was
obviously.
I liked that.
Yeah, I like that too. It's sad that to think that Aquia never knew, that she never knew the truth. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just feels like he's too good at everything. He's too mentally strong. And I get it to a degree. You can have those things there, but if every conflict, even if it is, there's going to be a few pages of him, if it feels like he's going to constantly win, and now it's too late, bro. We're going into book three. I mean, unless he's going to lose in the end, now you don't have the ability to set up these different things. I feel like book three is going to be where the plot really, obviously, if it's a trilogy, that's where everything's going to coalesce. So you're not going to have as much of an opportunity for the growth in these foundational things that he seems to be, a Gary Sue with. So I don't know, man. It's not feeling the way, dude. The end of Lycanius 2. You remember how Lycanius 2 ended?
Yes, dude. It's just different. That's what I'm saying. You actually care. I wonder if the first person is really holding him back here. Which I don't. He'd have to change so many things if he went to third person. But like, I mean, that's the main difference. I mean, it's being first person. It makes it to where, which I do think it's cool what he's trying to do with like, all
Is
right, we're still
Lycanius
first
not?
person. No, bro, it's
I
third
know it's
person.
multiple POVs, but is it third? Okay.
Uh, I don't have it here. I'm pretty sure it is.
Either way, it's
I
still
hope I'm not
Lycanius is
making that
still
up.
superior.
It's
I
definitely
don't know what
multiple.
it is because the writing feels like he's such a good writer. Like he's
Yeah,
very good, but maybe he's just weighing it down some with all the different words and
dude, the OB team
again, man.
stuff, I was cooked, bro, through most of that, and even some parts in Lucium, man, where it's just Lucium, especially, it persevered because something about it felt like kind of cozy, that whole world. So like it, I don't know, it was just easier to visualize. Whereas OB team, I couldn't, like you said before, I couldn't really visualize what was going on. It was just so
Yeah.
abstract. Dude, doing the whole like him learning a language and it's just all right, we're just gonna give long sentences of stuff that's not real words and we're just gonna keep it moving. It's like
Mhm. Well, and then there were
James,
scenes like dude in OBTM when he breaks that bridge. It's like this whole scene, this whole ordeal, just so he can distract. And I understand that it like kind of works. He gets in there, but it's just this drawn out stuff for then this 2-page scene where he's actually in the room he's been trying to get into this entire arc with Ka. After we spent 30 pages talking to Netocret and breaking the bridge, and I'm just like, dude, give me more. Cobb was a disappointment, I will say. Ka and OBTM just sleeping and getting stabbed in the heart. Nothing happens.
Well,
That
and
was a
it's
disappointment.
well that like I mean it's supposed like it being a like a reveal that that girl is Netacrit's daughter. It's like yeah, I mean that's who I thought it was the whole time. Like
Yeah,
I
like,
thought we all knew
duh.
that. Like
Yeah,
I genuinely was like I mean yeah, of course.
yeah,
I don't.
of course. Um, so yeah, and then, whatever.
We didn't even talk about the kind of one of the beginning parts, which I thought was cool, is when he's doing his little tryout. It was kind of
Yeah, that
game
was cool,
showy,
and
but it
that
was
was a
cool.
good example of them explaining, like, why he's so much better now in this book, and it's because we learned that he has that adoption ability now being synchronous.
Yeah.
But again, it just felt like, dude, he only has 1 arm. So even if he's synchronous and has adoption, like, he should just be, like, average. But he's 2nd place in basically everything with 1 arm. And so again, it goes back to, okay, so if he had 1 arm, he'd be deep into 1st place. And it's just, like, why? He's just the best at everything. And then they do that chariot race. He's never done it in his life. Wins. What even was happening in the chariot race, bro? What was happening between his chariot and Aqua's?
So he was controlling Aqua's chariot, and she controls his. I think she controls the speed, and they like drive it. They're steering their own, but they're powering the other. So it's like a teamwork thing.
Okay, that's kinda what I thought. Maybe Viz was powering both of them is what it was, but
Nah, he's going. You have to rely on the other one. That's why like he has to fall back to try and like mess with the dude in last place because the guy in first place can't see. He needs to slow down or speed up or whatever. I mean, I like that, but it's like, dude, it doesn't even matter. Like nothing that happened there really like almost even matters. Like he wins, and then that
yeah. I
guy,
mean
I guess,
I mean,
makes
it
that
does
dude
matter
hate him
because
more, and he
yeah, because
kills.
Iroh ends up dying and Decimus
Yeah,
kills, Aqua because of it, but still, it was, you know, just like, "Really, dude? This 50-year-old man's challenging me to a chariot race with his son?"
bro, I will never understand though the whole plot like line of why Iroh doesn't like him because he didn't save his sister. It's like, bro, he didn't cause it. So what do you care
I mean,
that he
Iroh's
didn't save
dad.
his? Well, that's what he was mad about too. You know, like at the school, he like didn't like
Oh,
him
right, right,
because
right,
his
yeah.
sister died in the
Yeah,
whatever
that was
that
always annoying. I
metaphor is.
think we talked about that in the first video, like,
It's just stupid.
tens of thousands of people died.
And
Like,
he saved a lot of people, but a lot of
screw
people
off.
got. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
he. Oh, it's not like he singled out someone. It's like, oh, I'm not saving you. It's just like he's
yeah.
not the one that caused it. So I just don't get why it would matter.
Like, if I was in Viz's situation and had gone through that, and then the father of someone who died came up to me and acted like that, I would say, "You're right, dude. I actually saw her and decided to let her die. She looked so scared, bro. She was screaming your name." And then I mean, "Do you really gonna come at me like that, bro? Like, I decided to let her die? That's crazy. And
That's
then you're gonna
crazy.
kill my friend over your son dying in the race you made him do? Or was it the other dad that made him do it? I can't remember."
No, no, no. It was him. He was the one who showed up and like tried to challenge him to say like to give up his Dominator thing.
Yeah. So I don't know, man, and that was kinda just the race and the competition type stuff all throughout was kind of annoying. It's like, dude, I thought we were out of school. And Viz kinda says that, which is ironic. It's like James being cheeky because he knows he's about to give
Yeah,
us a bunch of school type scenarios.
yeah.
Um, like we're in gym class every day.
I
Let's go
was
race.
I was ready to see more of a rise from Viz like politically, like when he does the little speech thing to try and tell Iden about the whole like I need my will back or whatever. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to go down that route, and I was kind of interested to see that, like him, gain following, do that whole thing, and it doesn't go that route at all. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I really see a. I don't. I just don't know what the point is anymore for
You
like
can't see
any
the
of the
vision.
storylines. I can't. I don't know what's supposed to happen, and like I don't know what we're fighting for at this point. What are we fighting for? Especially
Yeah.
now, like at the end of book two, now that I guess we're just waiting for more answers to certain questions, but it's like his dad's dead, his whole family's dead. He's already now like given up his will, and that was his one thing he was fighting to disband. He clearly can't
Yeah.
disband the whole will system. Is that what his goal still is now? Because that's what his goal was before. I think it's like,
Well, that is another thing that I was thinking about during this book was is Viz what is Diago's goal?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, is he still working toward, and I get that's yeah, that's that did occur to me during the book of, he's kinda just become a part of the system, and
He just
there's
switched
some
up.
parallels there with Red Rising, but in Red Rising, it's you're always reminded that he is actively working towards his goal as an undercover Red.
Yeah.
Whereas Viz, you're reminded that he lost a lot, but there's not a lot in his mind, in his POV in Res, where he's thinking about, "How do I tear all of this down?" He complains about it,
Yeah.
but, "How do I
Well,
tear this down?"
there's no one to really fight for because you don't know anyone who's at the bottom. There's no
You're right.
POVs of anyone at the bottom. So it's like, who are you
Yeah,
fighting for?
yeah,
Just people, I guess. But it's like you don't have any connections with the people
yeah, and
because
now
none of the
your
people are in
people
the
you do
book.
have connections with are dead.
Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do, Viz? But yeah, whatever. It was disappointing overall. I was expecting a lot of this was my I feel like this was probably both of
Oh,
I mean, it
yeah,
was the most anticipated book of the year,
for
like,
sure.
fantasy-wise, fiction.
I was really
Um,
excited for Empire of the Dawn too, but yeah, this was. I mean, it's yeah,
yeah, and Empire of the Dawn did not hit. This was better than Empire of the Dawn, though. This was not as egregious as that.
yeah, because this makes more. I don't. It just it feels. I mean, we'll see what book three's like. That was also book three, so he had to like put a final
Yeah,
in, which
yeah.
was crazy. But yeah, it's two. Both of these were disappointing though, which has kind of been sad. I mean, it's been fun. It's weird though because both of them have been fun in ways. Like I've enjoyed.
Mhm.
It's just a weird feeling when you enjoy something, but you still look back and you're like, that wasn't good. Like that wasn't
Yeah,
to the standard. I guess I don't want to say it's not good because it's still good, but it's just
yeah.
not to the standard of what. Like
Well, it's
just
not the
Empire of the
standard of,
Empire, the
like,
first two books
Canius.
are amazing, and then the
Yeah,
first book in this one was really good, like really strong, and then it's just to kind of fizzle out for both of these series is kind of it just is what it is, man. I guess it just shows how hard it is to write, though.
I mean,
We
no
just gotta
cap.
appreciate maybe more the ones that are like a complete
That's so true.
start
That's
to
based,
finish.
honestly. You're right.
But
We can never. And again, the concepts that he's coming up with are so cool. Like, I've never
they
heard
are,
of a concept of people being copied and there being these different versions. The synchronous idea is really cool.
yeah,
Um, and he put himself, like, I will say again, very ambitious. He put himself in a risky spot by having to do this 3 POV with the same character thing. Because that's, that we haven't really mentioned that a whole ton, but it's 3 POVs of the same character. Now they do go through different things and maybe are slightly different, especially the Lucium Viz at the beginning there. But, you know, it does get kind of tough, but whatever. And dude, Major L for Obitium and Lucium Viz keep having dreams and thoughts about Amissa. They have no idea that she literally stabbed you right when you got back. Now we know that, she thought something else was going on, but still,
I agree. And
that's
she's not even
tough.
in, dude. Her like kind of being in the beginning, and it's like okay, she's gonna play a factor in this book.
And they don't know Calidus is dead too, which is crazy.
But I mean, Veritas is not in this like really at all. It's just certain characters that are built up to be important just disappear, and I guess that's
Yeah,
maybe because they're gonna come back in book three. But I don't know, dude.
we'll see. We didn't talk about how Lanistia, whenever she has will, has to like kill Viz. She only has a certain amount of time.
That
Obviously, it
is
happened first at
something
the
good.
Aurora
That was
Columnae.
that was a crazy scene. Um,
Yeah, that was a good
that was
one.
when I was like, all right,
All right,
we could
code. Yeah, that is when it got good. I think that was that chapter 10, like towards the beginning.
yeah. The first couple
Uh,
chapters suck, dude. They were just
See,
so
I didn't feel
boring.
that way. You were not into it at the very beginning, but I was into the
Bro, I
intro.
could not visualize what was happening in Obitium at all. Like how Kaor was like taking him through whatever some journey. I was like, what is happening? Where are we?
What is happening to my boy?
I just, dude, it took me a minute to realize, oh, they're in a cave.
They caved up.
I don't know. It is what it is. But
It
we
is.
did it, man. I'm proud of us, man. We've knocked out some books pretty fast.
Well, yeah, man, we've been grinding. I'm at 54 for the year, so I'm a couple books ahead of schedule of getting 60 done. So, this one definitely helped towards that goal, and I don't regret reading it. Looking forward to book 3, but I hope there's improvement with that one.
I do too. I can see where I just don't. I can't imagine anyone liking this one more than book
No.
one.
And dude, again, I gotta finish this video, but Mike's book reviews might be the only one that I know of.
I saw the first half of his, and he was like trying to defend where people were saying he didn't like book one when he was
Oh
just
yeah, he did say that at the beginning.
critical,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Yeah.
not necessarily saying he didn't like it. And then I can't remember. I started doing something else, but we'll see. I'll have to check that out too. I'm curious to see what Jake thinks when Jake reads it. Um, I got a feeling, bro, he's not gonna like it.
Yeah, I don't think Jake's gonna like this. I don't think he is. I think he might feel a little more passionately about it than us.
Yeah, I think so too. But
Um,
anyway, well, if you're still here for whatever reason, um, cool.
Appreciate it. Let us
Appreciate
know
it.
what you think about this book, for sure. Let us know if you read Lycanius as well and you think that it's so far much stronger. But yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.